我们会进入下一个圆桌讨论的环节，关于技术环节与控制手段。那么接下来我会介绍本次圆桌的参与嘉宾，请各位依次一步上台。首先，刚才给我们带来主旨报告的2位嘉宾 Shlegeris 和孙军教授也会参与到后面的圆桌环节。Welcome back and 欢迎孙军教授。另一位嘉宾是王Xiting教授，他是中国人民大学副教授，他本科、博士均毕业于清华大学，曾是 MSRA 社会计算组首席研究员，研究兴趣为可解释、负责任的人工智能，相关的科研成果落地全球占有量第2的必应搜索引擎。那么我本人也会作为嘉宾参与到本次圆桌的讨论。本次圆桌的讨论主持人是段雅文，他现于安远 AI 担任 AI 安全研究经理，致力于 AI 安全技术社区建设。他也是未来生命研究所的生存性 AI 安全学者。那么欢迎各位嘉宾上台。那么接下来的时间交给雅文。
Great. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our last panel of our forum on technical mitigation and control measures for frontier AI systems. And before starting, I want to mention that the 2 possible realities that we are in today. The first reality is that frontier models are now getting more and more capable really fast. For example, one study showed that frontier AI's capability to complete long tasks doubles every 7 months. And also, everybody probably know it's a bad time to build benchmarks these days because lots of new benchmarks become saturated within 1 year after publishing. And the second possible reality is that frontier models are demonstrating more concerning capabilities and intentions. For instance, recent models, they can autonomously discover zero-day exploits and achieving expert-level virology troubleshooting skills. And Yoshua Benchio in his talk yesterday also showed some worrisome examples such as cheating, lying, faking alignment, trying to avoid shutdown and to blackmail its developers and so on. So today we are happy to we're joined with the 4 panelists working on different safety research directions to discuss, how do we best align and control frontier AI systems. So actually, for the 2 panelists who are speaking for the first time at the forum, Professor Wang and Dr. Tian, would you like to tell us a bit more about what your AI safety research directions are, and also what have you been working on? Professor Wang, would you like to go next? Go first.
Sure, thank you for the introduction. So me and my team in Renmin University of China, we basically working on trustworthy AI, especially understanding the large language models by using explainable AI and also AI evaluation measures so that we can better understand and predict the behaviors of large language models. And based on that, better control large language models. Thank you.
Okay, it's great to have a chance to introduce ourselves. As I mentioned, I'm the CEO of RealAI. We are a leading AI safety company, and we are founded in 2018. So I think we are one of the earliest AI company that focused on AI safety in China. And during the past few years, we have proposed several AI safety products, first in the world, including the AI safety platform that can evaluate and protect AI products such as facial recognition, autonomous driving, and also large language models. And also we propose a product for AIGC detection, especially for deepfake detection, since this kind of threats are more and more in the society right now. Also, we are not just provide AI safety tools, but also we are developing safer and more robust AI models. In early this year, we have proposed our safety enhanced version of DeepSeek model and use it to build more safer AI applications for some high-value scenarios, such as for government and also large enterprises. So that's all my introduction. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you both. So let's kickstart the panel. So our forum focused on the thinking about AI red lines, which are the worst case scenarios in AI risks. So my next quick question is to all the panelists. So what kind of worst case risk scenarios are you the most worried about that keeps you up at night? And also what is the plausible pathway for that to occur? Actually, Buck, I'd like to start with you. So you had some very interesting work with Anthropic on alignment faking and also deceptive behaviors in frontier models. What do you think?
Yeah, so I wouldn't say this is literally the worst case. There are some pretty bad cases out there, but I think a pretty bad case that I think is pretty plausible is ending up with AIs that are really applying themselves to deceiving their developers and making it hard for their developers to realize that they are deceiving them, just because it makes it so hard to tell whether an AI is in fact deceiving you if it's trying really hard to make it so that you aren't able to tell that it's doing so. And then I'm worried about such an AI, carefully conspiring against you and looking for opportunities to grab power.
Yeah, thank you, Buck. Professor Sun, would you like to start?
Sure. Yeah. So I'm one of those who actually believe there could be some existential threat because of AI. So the worst case scenario in my mind would be indeed there will be one day that AGI will be so smart that none of us humans can understand what's going on. So like horses can't understand humans, that kind of level. Then, of course, whatever we try to anticipate, whatever we try to do, probably will be pointless. But then on the other hand, the more realistic threat I will be worried about is the social impact. Meaning, all of us will be rely upon all these AI agents in the near future. If that is the case, how do we find something to believe in, or to be proud of, or find values of ourselves, etc., or the social structure of whatever we have here, democracy, whatever, whether that makes sense anymore? That's a question. Yeah,
thank you.
Okay. First of all, I want to say I'm also actually an optimist for this question, just as the guests in the first panel. I believe that the AI will eventually empower all of us to help us to build a better future. So rather than keep up at night to worry that AI will destroy all of us. So, but right now, I think there actually really have something that need us to pay more attention on. And the first thing I think is very important currently is that we need new ways to raise the awareness of the public about AI safety. Since currently, I think it's, in my opinion, I think it's very different from the AI safety problem and other safety problem. For example, we all know that the problems such as the nuclear weapon, all the genetically modified food, or even we want to build a communication tower in nearby our building. All the publics will raise their opinions that to say that this is dangerous and we should take more care about this. But for AI safety, all of us, all the experts in this room are concerned about this problem. But out of this room, if we go to the street and ask ordinary people, I think he or she may not aware of this, just like us. This will lead to a very serious consequence that all the ordinary people may misuse current AI and use it to do something that is not suitable or not ready currently. For example, the deepfake, as I just mentioned, many people use it to commit fraud or spread misinformation. And if you don't know the ability of AI currently, you may cannot distinguish them what is real and what is fake. Moreover, many people I see nowadays are using AI for questions that it is not ready today. For example, I see many people ask AI for medical advances or investment advances or even ask the AI to predict the future for us, definitely the answer will be wrong in many cases. But if you cannot distinguish whether we should trust the answer, it will be lead to very, very serious consequences. So in my opinion, I think for AI model companies or application companies, we have very strong responsibilities to raise the awareness of the public audience. Thank you.
The reliability in high safety critical systems. Professor Wang, would you like to start?
Yeah. So I'm worried about that AI might take over the world, but in a way that we did not anticipate, and in a way that is more implicit, maybe. So I teach a programming language, C and C++, in our university, and I see students losing motivation to learn coding skills because AI systems are so strong and they can complete their homework that is so difficult for them in 1 minute. And they have many other things to do and really pressured. And I see students trying to cheat in tests by using AI. So we deliberately designed the last 2 questions in our exam so that AI systems nowadays, like ChatGPT, they cannot really give a correct answer. But I'm not sure how long we can do this. For example, in maybe the next year, whether we are still able to design questions in this way. And I have talked with DD drivers, and I see that they are running all day, taking orders from AI systems. They cannot choose which orders they take and which orders they do not take. They can only work well by understanding the rules of AI systems so that they can try to get more high quality orders that give them more money in order to, I don't know, maybe in this way, DD drivers, they lose their activeness, but in exchange for more money. And Bach gave a very good example of how we try to achieve efficiency and due to goodwill that we accidentally do something that is not expected and that is very bad for us. So I'm really worried that maybe because we are so, this is a society that has large pressure and we automatically just pursue efficiency and it is very difficult to learn. So I'm worried that maybe because AIs are so efficient and effective, maybe we lose our creativity and the desire to learn because there is just no need for us to learn. But ultimately, I think whether we really need such efficiency in our society, I'm not sure about that. Yeah, thank you.
Right, thank you. So basically dedicating complex tasks to AI systems that results in a loss of control scenario. Right, thank you all the panelists. And also, I think one common theme mentioned by the speakers in the morning is that the current frontier models are, even if, although they have shown some concerning capabilities and tendencies, but they are not smart enough or not capable enough. So I'd like to begin talking about like some challenges for safety techniques to scale in more capable models in the future. Actually, back to Professor Wang. So you are an expert in the neuroscience of large models. You have some recent work on safety concept activation vectors that exposed, how even aligned models can be systematically manipulated by transferable prompts and inputs. So what does this tell us the problem of the current alignment techniques, and also like how does interpretability tools can help with building safer systems?
Thank you for the question. So this is actually a paper we published in NIPS last year. And we find that it is so easy to reverse the alignment. We use so many computation resources to align the models, but if we understand which neurons contribute to this kind of safety mechanism, we can easily just use 10 pairs of training samples, and with almost no additional computational costs, and we can make 6 open source large language models to answer over 99% of the malicious questions that they will not answer previously. So, and also this also works for closed source models like GPT-4. So we think that, and this phenomenon is actually more, so if a model is more aligned, it is easier to attack them, because they understand malicious questions and safe questions very well, so that they distinguish them in the embeddings. So it is really easy to interpret their safety mechanisms in order to steering them. So I think this is a phenomenon that we really need to be careful. So we need to rethink about whether we need to open source models and parameters, and how to develop defense methods for these attacks. Or otherwise, all this expensive alignment is just not useful. And but I think this kind of understanding about the functions of the neurons also provides some ways for defense. So if we check the detailed information in each layer, maybe we can find some signals that will tell us there is an attack ongoing. And recently, we are doing a research that shows in multimodal language models that our defense model can actually detect all kinds of the diverse attacks that put through them. And also, if we can understand the general function of the neurons, maybe we can better predict when the model will fail at safety, so that we can better prevent it from happening. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Professor Wang. Actually, Dr. Tian, I think you and your team has been working on both the attack and the defense sides for frontier models. And earlier this year, your team actually worked on developing safeguards for DeepSeek R1 based on the introspective reasoning framework developed by your team. So what are some lessons that you learned in these works? And also, what do you think about what do you think are the new problems we'll face when adapting these safeguards to more capable models?
Okay, thanks, Yawen, for mentioning our work. That work was published in February this year. We proposed a new introspective reasoning method to enhance the model's safety level. This year, we proposed a STAIR framework in this paper, and we use this STAIR framework to do post-training on the original DeepSeek open source model, since the original version of DeepSeek are criticized by many people to say that it's not safe enough. So we do post-training and build a new version, a safety-enhanced version, which we call it RealSafe R1. And we tested this new model, and fortunately, this new model can achieve a very good safety level, which is comparable with the best closed-sourced commercial models such as Cloud and ChatGPT. And more interestingly, we found that the general ability of the new model, which I mean the safety-enhanced version DeepSeek, remain unchanged comparing with the original version. This is an impressive result, since that usually people may think that if we train the model to be safer, usually it may be less useful in some cases. For example, if we just build a firewall for the language model and let it to reject all the questions and just say, I don't know, this model will obviously be perfectly safe, since it will not give anything unsafe or harmful. But obviously, it's completely useless. But for our model, we want to avoid this kind of situation. So we do not build the firewall, but we instead to do post-training and to utilize the reasoning ability of the model itself. In detail, we first to train the model, to do post-training, and tell the model what we think is safe and what is unsafe, to transfer our value to the model. And then we use the model's own reasoning ability to let it to distinguish whether the information in the potential reply is safe or not. And if there are some potential harmful information, the model will reject and rewrite the output by itself. So in this way, the model can enhance its own safety ability, but not affect the general ability for itself. So I think this is a very good thing for all of us, since for the AI safety guys like us, people may think that we are not supporting to build AI faster or better, but in the framework as we proposed this year, we can actually use this framework to build better and stronger AI model and use it to build applications in, just as I mentioned, some high-value application scenarios, and to make the AI more useful to the society. So that's all my answer. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Tian. You mentioned the alignment techniques. So I know, Buck, you and your team has worked on AI control as the second line of defense to keep AI safe even when the alignment techniques fails. And actually, in your recent experiments, I mean, the original AI control paper, you used a trusted GPT 3.5 to monitor an untrusted GPT-4's code generation. I'd like to know, what did you learn about the effectiveness and limits of these control protocols over time, and also if we're facing more agentic and deceptive AI systems, what are the open challenges?
Yeah, so as you said, excuse me. The first experiments we did on this work were back in the day where GPT-4 was the strongest model we had. This was, October or something, 2023, right? So we did these experiments that involved using GPT-4 as an intelligent model. Nowadays, of course, GPT-4 is way worse than the smartest model we have. And the basic insight we were working with at the time is that in the future, even though we're going to have much more powerful AIs, and those AIs might be very misaligned, we're still going to think that the current AIs that we have are probably not misaligned. Like right now, or at least they're not very cleverly scheming against us. Like, I'd be very surprised if any of the currently existing AIs, except maybe the newest ones, were very carefully conspiring against us just because they're not smart enough to conspire. And so we've done a lot of work that takes advantage of these weaker models that we trust. I would say the main thing that I've learned about these techniques since I started researching them is basically that the methodology works better than you might have thought. And there's a lot of pretty complicated techniques that work out pretty nicely. In a lot of areas of machine learning, it normally turns out that when you try to do anything complicated, it doesn't work. But I feel like in our context, the complicated things have worked out reasonably well so far.
Yeah, thank you, Buck. I'd like to go back to Professor Sun, and actually your research, so actually in your presentation, you mentioned your research bridging formal methods and AI safety, aiming to make AI outputs compliant with safety specification and formally certified. So you also mentioned the challenges in certifying the safety properties of general purpose frontier AI systems. How far do you think can formal verification go in this direction? And also, like, in particular, what kind of breakthroughs or new tools are needed to certify that?
Yep, that's the real question. Yes. Overall, my answer will be a bit negative. So in the end, all this verification and certification, we all agree that it should be done for some at least critical applications of AI. For instance, it's applied to control nuclear weapons, for instance. But then, the assumption is first, like I mentioned already, we have to be able to specify what do we mean by safety in such scenarios. It may turn out to be much more complicated. Second, whatever verification, whatever certification that we try to do, it will be basically based on logical reasoning. But then if you look at logical reasoning, it's by design, by definition, really, really slow. So that means there might be a possibility that it will never scale to a level that we can actually apply those to real systems. But having said that, as I mentioned in my talk already, at least in short term, for specific systems, for specific domains, we should do that. We should try to maintain certain level of safety that we can all agree upon to some level. Yeah. That is doable, definitely, and we should definitely do that. And then there should be a push through standards, through regulation, etc., towards doing that. All right. In the long term, in terms of general AI, how do we make sure they are safe? Yeah, I'm not sure I have the answer because, well, I have no idea what do we mean by safe in that scenario. Yeah. And then without that, yeah, I'm not sure what we are talking about here, actually.
So we should figure out the safety specification first.
Yeah, but then we have philosophers who have been debating for thousands of years, what we do really want, and then what we should really value. There is no consensus. In the end, I don't know.
Right. Thank you. Thank you for all the answers and also excellent comments. So I have the next question is about what do you think are the underrated research area in AI safety that you wish more people could work on, and of course why? This is a question posed to all the panelists.
So the first direction is using AI transparency to better understand AI, or use some human study psychology to better understand AI. I think now people don't talk about that so much because it is very difficult, and people don't really believe that we can fully understand AI, like how every neuron in large language models work. But now I'm more optimistic because we find that in some critical concepts, maybe we are able to understand that it's to a very good degree that we can already steal them and control them based on our understanding. And the second direction is maybe we need to use AIs as our assistants in order to achieve AI safety. Because just now, Professor Sun mentioned that even for software safety, we have worked for many years and we don't achieve a very good progress. Then how about using AI systems that may work for so many hours and also their intelligence is improving? Is it possible that we use AI systems as our assistants in order to really achieve AI safety?
I want to mention a relatively different area. As I just mentioned, AIGC detection. Many people think it is just one tool for a specific usage. But nowadays, I find that the AI-generated content becomes more and more, and the amount of it grows really fast. Nowadays, I think as we see all these AIGC models, they are very powerful. The content they generated is very hard to distinguish from the real ones. In the internet, I see that most of the content we see every day will be AI generated, but rather than the real one. So we need tools to help us to distinguish these things and to help us to find what is truth, what is fake. So this is from the requirement side. And also from the mitigation method side, many people may think that now also the government already requests that all the model providers and the platforms, they need to put some watermarks to the content they generated, or give the very obvious labels to the content, whether it is AI generated. But I think this is not enough, since there always exist open source models that do not have strict watermarks or safety strategies. And also, even for the content that have a very popular modern watermark, we can easily remove it by just cutting the image or just by compress the file and to do some other kind of things to remove all the things. So I think it's very important to have AI tools that also can grow very fast, to have very strong ability to help us to distinguish the content. And this area, I think, is not not have enough attention right now, but I think it will be more and more important in the near future. Thank you.
Yep. So, well, this is a tough question. So, I mean, by right, to answer this, I would assume that I know all the research going on in AI safety, which I certainly don't claim. But then, so for all the technical questions, I've read a lot of papers. It seems all the questions, there are some researchers working on that. But then one aspect that I would like to see more papers, but maybe I missed those, is the social aspects of all these AI agents. So whether AGI will take over human race may or may not happen, but definitely what will happen is that we will be relying upon all these AI agents more and more, to an extent that all the information that we get is filtered by AI, and all the information we try to provide will be filtered by AI. So in that scenario, then it is not clear to me what we should live for anymore. My daughter is going for Gaoling this year. And then she's interested in computing, but then after 2 years, she's basically asked the question: do we really need computing anymore, right? Because, like you mentioned, we probably don't want to do coding anymore. But then, if that is the case, what do we do? And in general, if AI can do most of the stuff that we can do, what do we do? What do we find joy in spending our times in? That seems to be a question that we should answer. I know there are some efforts try to implement this universal basic income, for instance, to give people the freedom to explore whatever, assuming a future where AI basically will do the work for us. But I'm not sure how to live a meaningful life with that kind of scenario. Yeah, that will be my.
Thank you. Buck, would you like to go next?
Yeah, I guess a lot of interesting and different suggestions here. I guess I'll give a sort of narrow and technical one. I wish that there was a better qualitative understanding of how training the AIs in one kind of context affects how they answer in very different kind of contexts. So the particular example I gave in my talk was, I'm really interested in what psychological effect it has on the AIs that we train them in these environments where they do a lot of cheating. I guess I kind of have this intuition that I have a stereotype of people who, studied really, really hard to get into a really competitive university program. And I feel like it sometimes it sort of seems like it has a bad effect on their personality, or it makes them too obsessed with certain types of achievement. And I would love to know whether, and it's even worse when they achieve really highly in domains that involve being dishonest. And I want to know whether I should be worried about stuff like that happening with the AIs. I don't think this is the only reason why the AIs might end up being really scarily misaligned, but it would be interesting to explore more.
Yeah, thank you, Buck. Thank you all for this truly insightful discussion. We only have a few minutes left, and I have a final question for you all. So, in a few sentences, what is one safety best practice or safety technique that you would recommend, every frontier model company to implement, on their models or in their companies, if they haven't done so yet?
I can.
Yeah, Buck, feel free.
Yeah, I think that every time an AI company has an AI which is 6 months ahead of the public state of the art, they should announce this publicly, or at least, they should announce this publicly within 2 months of having it, and also. In the future, they should release a redacted version of the spec which they used to train the AI, or the thing that they aligned the AI to, so that anyone in the public can know that they aren't, for example, telling the AI to lie about certain topics.
So higher transparency.
Yep, but that particular kind of transparency, like public model specs and revealing your best model if it's the best model in the world.
Ideally, every AI developing company should be having some super alignment department clearly think, what is the risk of the model that they are developing before releasing it. Of course, I understand there's a lot of business, drive to not do that because, well, there's a competition going on. In the end, it might or might not happen. But if that is the case, yeah, I'm not sure actually how we solve this problem. It's like, nuclear weapons available to every country, and then of course everybody will be competing. And then, to me, maybe these companies should collectively work with the government to set up a regulation that will be accepted by all of these companies collectively.
Thank you.
I think it's hard to mention one technology or method, but I think in the future, all the AI model companies or application companies, I suggest them to collaborate with third-party AI safety companies. Since for every company, as we all discussed, the safety is really important. But due to the competition issues, all the companies cannot have enough efforts on the safety issues currently. So a very good way is to build more and more stronger third-party AI safety company and develop these tools and methods and give them to all the companies, so the efforts on the AI safety can be shared by all the society. So I think this will be a trend in the future. As we just said yesterday, Yusha Benjo also established his AI safety company, and in RealAI we are doing similar things. So I think this will be very important in the future. Thank you.
Thank you.
I really agree with Professor Sun. So I think the AI companies should pay very good attention to the risk of their AI systems. And I wish to use, so previously I worked for Microsoft, and I admire their culture that they take. So before regulations, Microsoft usually think about the regulations before that, and they put a very strict constraint on themselves instead of just waiting for the regulations. Why this is happening? Because Microsoft treats such kind of things as an opportunity rather than a restriction for themselves, and because they wish to do well for everyone. I really think this is a very good mindset that I would like to recommend to all the AI companies.
Yeah, thank you, Professor Wang. Thank you all for this truly insightful discussion, and also thank you very much for joining us online and in person. So let's give our guests another round of applause. And please take your seat in the audience. Thank you.
Thanks all the guests.